All right, welcome back to Rebel Ants Radio. Kevin here, waiting for Miguel to join. I don't know where he's at. I think he left me high and dry, even though we had big plans to go live today at 8 o'clock. So if anyone knows where Miguel is, you better tell him. This is not cool. Anyway, we wanted to just kind of share our thoughts and recap review from NFTNYC 2024. Last week it was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, an insane whirlwind of a week that actually started Tuesday night. And Tuesday night was the kickoff for the speakers and the VIPs, which, we are VIPs. And Miguel and I were working up to literally the last minute to get the website live, to get the project dropped. So I'm sure if and when him and I get to talk about it, we'll kind of reminisce about what that was and if there's anything we would have done differently. But we ended up being able to launch Rebel Lands V2, as we'd been calling it, Battle for the Colony. We ended up dropping it on Bueno rather than OpenSea for various reasons. OpenSea was just extremely unhelpful, extremely limited, and Bueno had always been good to us. So we used Bueno to launch V2, and it is live. And if we look here at the website, which again, a lot of early mornings and late nights to get this website up, but we wanted it to be perfect. And it's mostly there. So beautiful entry here using the art that Miguel had. Beautiful art. We've got a few ants here, and some of the ants you see here are the really rare ones. We got the Power Ranger and the astronaut spaceman. And then on the homepage, once you go to minting now, you've got the ability to mint. So let's and when you hit on tokens, you'll see some of the ones that are already minted and a lot of really great ones. And we were able to get a lot of these minted in person at NFTNYC, which was just so cool to see people believe enough in us to want to pay and support us as the little guys. So just looking here, I don't know if I am connected. Maybe not there. So this was what our booth looked like. So we had a banner here, a 6-foot banner, which showcased 3 projects here: Rebel Ants V1, Jeremy Pets, and then the new Rebel Ants. And then we had this stand here, which was the podcasting ants. And that was that came out really well. We struggled to get those in time over to the conference's hand, those files. We had to use Illustrator to get it over, or Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop to get it into a special file format from what we had. So we were scrambling to get it by the deadline. And honestly, it came out really nice. I'm very impressed with the quality of it. Luckily, we were able to snag those on the way out. We got those, and we'll have them on display somewhere in the background of one of our videos there. And you'll see that Miguel had the iPad right on the desk there, and it was just showing a looping, repeating interview clip that we have as like the promo for the YouTube channel for when we are live. When you first come to the YouTube channel, you'll see that promo there. And that first night, we went to the kickoff party after we launched the project. Miguel was carrying the laptop open, connected to the internet as we were walking to the kickoff party, which was just a welcome speech by the organizing team. And it was very nice. It was cool to see a lot of other people there. And we were able to see Miguel's art on display there on the artist gallery against the back wall. And we'll post some pictures on that on Twitter and X and Instagram. And then right after that, we went over to Times Square, because they said at Times Square they'd have a number of artists' work on display. They'd have projects on display. It was a Times Square takeover, and they were going to have every speaker displayed in Times Square. So luckily, after standing around for an hour in the rain, we were able to see my face on Times Square. Unfortunately, we did not see Miguel's aunt's artwork, which would have been amazing to see just on a huge display in Times Square and have everyone looking at his artwork. But either it didn't happen or we missed it based on where we were standing and the way that the images were moving around. So we will we'll hope that it was up and somebody saw it, but we did not get a chance to see it or capture it. So there is always next year, and we will certainly be trying again to do this next year. And so that was the kickoff on Tuesday night. Wednesday morning, we got there at 8 a.m. We tried to set up our booth. We wanted to get ready for the podcasting. We had 2 chairs there, even though we were promised 4. So we had to work with the team there to get the extra chairs. We asked about a table. The table magically showed up, but this led to some drama because that night we ended up with an invoice in our email inbox for $800 for a table. One little table, which I'll see if I can show you what the table was. That table was $800 for the 3-day event. And I get it. There's costs associated with everything, the item itself, the labor to move it, put it back, take care of it, all that. I get it. But we only asked how much a table was. A table showed up, $800 invoice. Not much you can do to undo that, but it was well worth it based on the flexibility it gave for us at the table here, because we ended up using this stand and booth for engaging with people walking up, and then we used the table to do podcasting and interviews, which worked out really great. But the podcast that we started with on day 1, let's see if I can find some pictures. This is our Google Drive here. The podcast that we did on day 1 were at one end of the table, and we moved the next day to bring it over to the other side because it had a better fit and a better flow. And so we were on the other side that first day. And so we were able to interview, I think, 4 or 5 people that first day. It was great to kind of meet these people. We had wanted to get up to the opening speech. We had wanted to get up to see a couple of other talks. We were looking for Luca from Pudgy, and we were not able to get to that event. I don't know if it didn't happen, but we showed up at the main ballroom at the time they said it was going to happen, and he wasn't there. Nobody was there. They had already shut down for the day. So that was Wednesday. We learned a lot. I think we adjusted that way on the first day, and we pivoted for the next day. That first day, my wife, Miguel's girlfriend, was there, and that was nice to have the support. That first day, I had my talk, the 10-minute talk about navigating imposter syndrome. So I was very nervous leading up to the 12 o'clock event. It was like 11 o'clock. I stepped away to do a test run with my wife, and then I did the talk at 12. It went quickly. I think it went well, and we were able to move on for the rest of the day after my talk. But there was about maybe 15 people total in the talk. Some of them were Miguel, his girlfriend, and my wife, but there were some other people there, and it was received well. I was able to record it. It's now on YouTube on our channel, so feel free to take a look. And it looks like Miguel is calling. Miguel has a lot of explaining to do. I'm just going to tell him to jump on. And jump on. Good. Let's go here. All right, yeah. So we were able to get through my talk at a successful way, I think. And 2 people came up to me after and said they appreciated the talk, so that was cool. And then we came back downstairs and really focused on interviews and trying to grab people. What was an interesting observation for the people that were walking through was that the number of booths that were set up, maybe there was 20 exhibitors that were, similar to us, that had a booth and were on display. It was a mixed crowd. Some of those were vendors that were like business to business, and some of them, not many of them, were geared towards NFT holders. There was a couple of games, NFT games, that were there geared towards people that they wanted to play the game, and there was us. And most other people were really business to business, I think. So it was an interesting mix, for better or worse. I'm not sure if it was the best or not good at all to say that if you're an NFT holder, you're at NFTNYC to experience more NFT related things. You don't want to get pitched by some of these companies, a legal firm or an analytics fund, because you're not the target audience. So it was a bit of a mix. And again, I'm not sure if that was helpful or not. We had some really great booth mates that were on either side of us. So to the left of us, if you're looking at our booth, to the left of us, we had Mint Tangible, which handle IP rights through your contract, and they work with you to pick the right IP rights that you want to use for your art, and then they inject it into the contract, so it's very clear and trackable what the intention was from the owner and the creator. and the holder what their rights are. So really great service and an amazing team. We met, I think, 3 or 4 of the people there. They were all super bright, super nice, very friendly, very smart, very technical, and definitely people that we want to stay in touch with. And then on the other side, we had George, our good boy George from Soup Dope. So definitely recommend checking out Soup Dope. Let's actually pull up that first one here. So the first one was Mint Tangible, minttangible.io, intellectual property in Web3, built by legal, licensing, and blockchain experts. Mint Tangible offers a comprehensive suite of IP protection, licensing, and management solutions for Web3 creators, brands, and platforms. And again, really, really great people. It seems like they handle all the heavy lifting. So if this is something you're trying to figure out or you haven't really put much attention into yet, check out what their services are. And I was able to interview Amy Lee, who I think is the CEO of the company. And so look on our channel. We'll link to that, of course. We made a playlist of the interviews that we did there, and take a look at take a listen to her explanation of why IP rights are important. She explained, the challenges and the pitfalls you might have if you don't clearly define what those rights are for you and for the holder as a creator and as an owner. So definitely take a look at that. And then we had George from Soup Dope on the other side, and we were able to interview him as well, and that was great. Definitely watch that interview because he's got an interesting platform here. It's a video streaming platform where whether you're the viewer or the creator, you're going to make money by watching. And this doesn't have to be anything Web3 related at all. Once you create an account using your email or Google Auth, it creates a Polygon wallet for you. You can either choose to just sign up with your own wallet, or it'll create a wallet for you. And then as you watch, you get 50%. As you watch, you get rewarded for watching. If you're a creator, you get rewarded for people watching your video. And so I think it was 50% split to the creator, 10% to the watcher, and then 40% goes back to Soup Dope. But if you want to watch anything on here without advertisers, you're paying a subscription. And if you're an advertiser, you're paying into the platform that way. So that income, that stream in of advertisers and subscription services, that goes back to the creator and the watcher. So, it was funny. We were joking because I did a test upload, and within the first day, I made like 67 cents off a few viewers. So I said to George in an interview, I said, George, we've been on YouTube for over a year. We probably have 100 hours of content, and I've made more in one video off of Soup Dope than I have from YouTube. So he said he's not trying to take on YouTube. This is just a different platform, different service, but it's so smart that the smart contract executes those things automatically. Okay, we've got a special guest joining us right now. This is unbelievable, unprecedented. Special guest joining us. Hold on, stand by. Let's see. Can we add Miguel into this? Let's see. Replace speaker with Miguel. Oh my God, Miguel, is that you?
It is me.
Whoa, 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 Miguel.
What's going on?
Miguel, what time is it by you? It must be like 3 a.m. that you'd be asleep while we had a plan to do a show.
Listen, I was tired, all right?
You know what I'm learning? I don't need you, okay? I got this. I'm going solo every week from now on. You can join if you want,
You
but
need me forever.
Miguel, how are you? How was your eclipse day?
Actually, you know what? I didn't even watch the eclipse. Did you?
Yeah, I watched the eclipse.
Did you?
Yeah, I watched the eclipse.
You were one of those people?
One of those people. We had a Cub Scout event to get together and watch it at the park near us.
What do you mean? You had a whole event?
The Cub Scouts met up. We watched. We had our glasses. We took some pictures. We shared some donuts. It was a day. It was a 30-minute window. We got 4 people watching. I don't know if they're all you, but feel free to drop a comment. Let us know how you're doing. Did you get to see the eclipse? And if you were at NFTNYC, let us know your thoughts, any comments that you had. So, Miguel, how are you feeling after NFTNYC, the whirlwind of?
I'm pretty good, man. Like, I really enjoyed being at NFT NYC. It was amazing. We met some people. We spoke to a lot of people there. We really had a good time. I know you went to a couple of the parties, took some pictures. I went to sleep while you were at the parties because I'm just, an angel. Um,
Yeah.
But no, it was great. I think that NFTNYC really was great for us. Again, like I said, we met some interesting, amazing people that have some great projects, some great stuff coming out, and we really want to like talk to a lot of them still. We want to do a lot of things with them. Um, it's just one of those things that it was just the right thing for us to do.
I agree. I agree. I think we learned a lot about ourselves through that, right? We've never been in that sort of situation before where we're trying to pitch not just the ants, but like ourselves, right? We were trying to pitch who we are, why we were there. Um, People walk up to you, they expect to have a conversation. So I think we learned over the course of the week how to craft that conversation to be more effective and even more timely, right? Just sort of condensed down to the important parts to capture someone's attention. Were you surprised at the level of engagement that we had as people came up to our booth?
Yeah, I mean, I was a little bit surprised, even towards the end, like on Friday. Um, there was a lot of people coming to us, and not only were they coming to us, but they were like, "Hey, there's a lot of people upstairs talking about you guys. Like,
Yeah.
I had to come down and talk to you guys." Or it was like, "Hey, I heard that you guys were giving out some amazing interviews. Can we be part of those interviews?" Like it was just crazy towards the end. It was surreal towards the end, basically.
Yeah, I
I think,
agree. I was trying to go in order, per our
yeah.
agenda here, day 1, day 2, day 3. If you wanna skip around, we can do that too. But yeah, I think by the end, it felt almost like a more well-oiled machine, right? Because it I think you and I planned on doing podcasts and interviews, but it just didn't work out that the two of us could do that. It was just impossible. There was just too many people around. And as I was saying before you hopped on while you were probably still sleeping, um, there was probably, there was an interesting mix of the vendors and booths that were there. Some of them were just business to business, right? They don't want to meet just a random NFT holder, right? That's not who their audience is. If they're the ones doing analytics or even the intangible, um, they don't want to. Their target audience isn't an NFT holder. Their target audience is a business in the crypto space. So I think we were one of the few booths that were targeted towards NFT holders, and I think that was attractive to people that were walking around. They wanted to stop and talk to someone while they were there, right? Otherwise, imagine getting into NFT NYC and walking around and not stopping at any booths. That would be pretty useless.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we were both.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, we were both. We were the business, and we were the ones also talking to everyone there.
Yeah, we were trying to appeal to, I think, anyone, right? Anyone who would listen to us, we were trying to appeal to.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, what did you think about the show?
I thought it was a good experience for us. I don't know what last year was like. I don't know what the year before that was like. Going, being part of a bull run and then being there. I can only imagine it'd be that much crazier. But like you and I talked about, we were so busy that if it was any busier at the conference, it almost wouldn't have mattered because we couldn't have talked to more people. We couldn't have spent more time with more people. We were just non-stop, right? It was hard enough for us to step away to use the bathroom or get something to eat. We were just non-stop.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is your first year. Last year I was there. Last year was definitely a lot busier than this year.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I don't know, for some reason I feel like last year that particular floor that we were in was a lot busier. Because last year in that particular floor they had two different stages too. So they also had speakers down in that particular floor. So I think it was much busier because of that. Um,
Right. Right.
but in terms of like just people being there, I think that last year was definitely a lot busier. And you're
Yeah.
right, like it wouldn't have mattered. We would have been as busy, if not, the same.
Yeah. Everyone there, even though they're not the same audience or the same background, it's just everybody seemed like a decent person. Nobody was trying to like inappropriately shill anything. Nobody was trying to take advantage. Like everybody was there to genuinely have a conversation and meet other people that we interacted with. And I thought that's what was so cool. Is like, you could look at those people and make your own assumptions, but until you sit down and talk with them, you don't really get to know who they are. And I think that was so valuable for us that everyone who came up to us, I think we gained something even just by refining our pitch or answering some questions or trying to get the word out, I think every interaction we had was valuable.
Yeah, it wasn't even about us. It was more about like how interesting it was for some of those people that are creating something out of the blockchain or like
Yeah,
just any kind of technology, right? Like it was just amazing to see like all the people that are into it, not necessarily being into like an NFT, PFP project or like
right.
whatever the case might be. It was just like the technology that we're trying to bring into the world, into that particular world that would help or it would solve some sort of problem or solution or whatever the case might be for whatever it was that they were doing. But I thought that a lot of those people were, um, really solving some sort of problem. Like for example, Mint Tangible was really interesting to me, and I still think that we should still look into
Absolutely.
their technology because um, I never even thought about the copyright thing until until we spoke to them. That's the other thing. Like being there just kind of opens your eyes to different things of
Exactly.
what happens in the NFT world and what other things you can actually do. Even our booth mate George, with his company, like that was really interesting. Like
Yep. Yep. I covered them before you were on, but what were your thoughts on Soup Dope?
um, I think that is a great idea. Because again, like if you compare YouTube to like something like he's doing, right? You do have to wait till you get a certain number of audience to be able to get paid or whatever the case might be. But with that particular company, you get paid from the moment that somebody starts watching your videos, which I think
Exactly.
it's pretty good to be incentivized at that moment. You don't have to necessarily wait until you have 10,000 viewers or 10,000 people watching your stuff or I don't know, public hours, whatever they're calling it on YouTube, etc. But
Yeah, and even the watchers get incentivized. They get a cut of it too, which you definitely don't have on a YouTube platform.
yeah, I mean, I think we put a video right just to test it out and see how it was, and I think the moment that one person watched it, we were already getting some sort of revenue.
Yeah, I think we made like 67 cents or something day one, which was just one video. And like I said earlier, it was more money than we've ever made from YouTube. That's
Mhm.
67 cents.
Yeah, just testing it out. It works. The technology works. Now, what's
Exactly.
behind that technology and what makes it do whatever it does? Like, is it going to be sustainable? I have no idea, but the idea is there, and I thought that the idea was great.
Yeah, and it's all executed by the smart contract, right? So you can see every transaction, you can see every time you are receiving an incentive or a reward for watching or creating, and then you can track on the website as a creator. You can see some of the analytics on the background. But yeah, I've been checking my wallet because it's a USDC on Polygon, and it's just interesting to see. Here's 3 cents. Here's 3 cents. Here's 3 cents. So just 3 cents eventually add up, sure, but it's just still interesting to see that there's something happening that I'm not doing anything else. I uploaded a video once that I created, and like we had said in person there, we have over like 100 videos between full episodes and clips. So once we eventually get those up, it'd be really interesting to see if that scales or what the return on that is.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but the again, like I said, the idea is just it's perfect if you really think about it. I mean, if you really get the word out there
Yes.
that there's a platform incentivizing videos or like YouTube, it will take off
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, there was another interesting vendor there next to Mintangible, and that was a cookie company called Last Crumb, which
Mhm.
great cookies, definitely check it out. But the funny thing about them is that they had nothing to do with crypto. They have nothing to do with NFTs, nothing to do
Zero.
with Web3. I had just, approached the person standing in front, introduced ourselves, said, "Hey, Kevin from Rebel Ants, two booths over. What brings you here?" And then they tell me about the cookies, and they do it for corporate giveaways and thank you boxes. And I'm like, "Oh, and what's the connection here to Web3?" She's like, "There is none. I just thought this would be a place that people would be interested in our product." So I said, "Okay, so you told your boss you need at least $5,000 to come to an NFT conference, and you're going to make that money back on cookie sales?" She's like, "Yes." I was like, "That is amazing." And by the end of it, she's like, "Yeah, we definitely made more than enough through connections and services." Um, or like agreements there. So I just thought that was so cool. It's like, hey, here's a group of, there's gonna be a bunch of people here. We have nothing to do with their specific topic, but we're just gonna have a good product and a good pitch, and people are gonna be into it. So I
Yeah.
give them a lot of kudos for just putting themselves out there, putting themselves into that situation.
Yeah, but you know what? I could have sworn that Pudgy Penguins was doing something with them. I don't know if you saw that, but I'm pretty sure they were.
I think they had a box that had Pudgy on it, and maybe they were collabing with them, but their product is not natively crypto. It's just cookies. And then you can partner with them and create your own boxes.
Right. I mean, yeah, the concept is the reality is that they have nothing to do with blockchain or
Yeah.
cryptocurrency, but
Blockchain
in a
cookie.
way they do, because they're using it as a way to
Sure.
incentivize whatever it is that they're doing,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Definitely. And so thinking about lessons we learned day one that we adjusted for the next day. One, we moved the table to the other side of the booth for podcasting purposes, which maybe made a better flow. That way you had more access to the banner to kind of bring people over to the art itself versus that being in the way. And then also by moving the table to the other side, we had I think a better background for those videos. We had the background of that giant canvas oil painting that 100 meters long. But I think that was a better background, and I think just a better experience for.
And do you know what the deal
Okay.
with that was?
I think it was this gigantic paint. What was it? A world's largest oil painting, and a segment of that I think was being minted as an NFT.
Oh, was it? I didn't know that.
Yes. Well, a segment like the visual, like a picture of it was
Right.
being minted. I don't remember what it was called, but they had a huge advertisement as you come up and down the elevators. They had a gigantic like wall decal to advertise that, but it wasn't even available yet for minting. So it seems like a big commitment for something that nobody could even act on. Um,
Hmm.
so day one, we had that banner up, and I think I said to you, I was like, "Oh, we really should have just leaned into the new project, the V2, because the Rebel Ants V1 is there, the Jeremy Pets is there, and then the Rebel Ants, Battle for the Colony at the bottom." And
Mhm.
anytime somebody would go to scan a QR code, I'm like, no, scan the bottom one, scan the bottom one. It's like maybe we gave them too many options trying to display all the art versus saying, hey, this is the thing we want you to do. So I think in a future event, I would lean more into the one thing we want them to do, right? Like really the call to action we want them to do. Did you feel that way, or did you think it was better to have multiple projects on display to kind of keep the conversation going?
Yeah, I didn't feel that way. I felt like it was good for us to showcase everything that we do. I mean, I think it
Yeah.
was important to get people to know us and what we do from the beginning and how we got to where we got. So
Yeah.
I didn't think the same way.
And when somebody would come up and they'd say, "Tell me about Rebel Ants," and you would give your pitch, how did you think that was received by the average person that walked up?
Pretty good. I mean, what are you doing? Are you interviewing me right now?
I want to know your thoughts on it.
No. What do you mean? Like if when they came to me and they spoke and they asked me about the other projects?
Yeah, like when you're pitching yourself, you're saying, "Hey, I'm the artist here. I made this. This is why I did this."
Mhm.
Did you feel like people were relating to that?
Yeah, some people were
Yeah,
not. You know, again, like it's just the evolution of where we started and where we are now. So I think that that was a good part of the story. Um, we've come a long way. We've been doing this for 2.5 years almost now. So
yeah,
like I think it's important for people to understand why we're doing it, how we're doing it, because that's technically why we're doing this in the first place is to so that people can learn from us.
yeah. Part of my discussion for some people was we thought being in person and telling our story would have a better connection, and I think that was the case, right? As much as we can make these videos every week, quote unquote every week, or post things on Twitter, I think having those in-person discussions where you can actually see if you're relating to someone, or they can say, yeah, that's it, I feel exactly the same way. I think that's where you get that emotional connection, which leads to the next step of you get the follow, you get the subscribe, or you get the purchase. And I think people resonated with the art. I think people resonated with our story, and I think people resonated with having a platform to interview other people. So I think each of the major three parts of who we are, I think resonated with people as they came up.
Yeah, I mean, again, like we also met like some amazing artists there. Like, um, just talking to some of the people there that, like, for example, we had the young kid at the end that he came from Cuba, and his art was being showcased, in the gallery, and he was just static to be there, and he was just static to be like talking to us, like even as little as we are, he was just like super
Yeah.
perplexed about like just being there and talking to us. Like it's just amazing to see how some people react to certain things, and where people come from and how different things are, and then they come here and how different it is. Like something as small as just being in our show, like how important that was to him to
Right.
be
He
able to
said
do it.
he'd never been interviewed. He was nervous. He'd never done a podcast before.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that definitely made his day. And what's interesting is the way that we found his name was I just saw a business card lying around, which is kind of the deal at these things is people are just leaving business cards and flyers and stickers and QR codes all over the place, whether it's on a table, a chair, or whatever. And I saw the art on the back of his card. It was the Slimies NFT. I was like, oh, this is really cool 3D art. So I flip it over. It's got a Twitter name. So we post a Twitter. We just tweeted at him saying, hey, if you're still at NFT NYC, we want to interview. And NFT NYC even retweeted that. I think they were really focused on this idea of helping people make connections there, or
Hmm.
highlighting those connections. And he responded saying, yeah, I'm on my way and I'll come by the booth. And he came by the booth and we interviewed him. It was really cool to just kind of see that work, right? You drop a business card, somebody takes action, and then there's some output of it. And to your point earlier, people were saying they were seeing our stuff all over the place, and I think that was really cool that we had some recognition through that.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool too. I mean, we did put stickers and like stuff everywhere, but what's important is that it was cool to see that people were actually picking it up and reading it.
Right. Right. People came down saying, "Yeah, I saw this, and saw you're doing interviews, or I saw this and wanted to know more." So I think it did prompt people to come down. So definitely mad props to Gina who was with us on getting that stuff created and distributed, and making it catchy enough that people were interested in it. So. Like I said to you, I think I underestimated the value of those things at a conference like this because I've just never been to one. But definitely was a crowd pleaser. The bracelets people were
Hmm.
really into, the shirts, the bags. Those things took a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money to get ready. But I think it served its purpose. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, again, like I keep telling you, like well, not you, but I keep telling like our audience and people that we talk to that it hasn't been about the money. Like if it was about the money, we wouldn't even be sitting here doing this.
Right.
Right, but like we've spent so much money in the last 2.5 years just doing all this that it's just the passion and the drive that we have to be able to communicate uh, with artists and creators and learn about the space and all this other sort of stuff. I mean, just yesterday I bought a DGOTS.
Yeah.
I posted it. And the reason why I bought a DGOTS is just because the community is very driven, and I really like Frank's vision. Um, and Frank is very community driven too as well. Like I really like that community, and that was the reason why I ended up getting a DGOS. Um,
Yeah, he's, for as much of a roller coaster as he has been on and his projects have been on, he's not going anywhere, I don't think. He
I don't
continues
think
to
so. Yeah,
innovate and continues to create, and I think that's a good horse to get behind, honestly.
yeah. I mean, did you have any highlights from the show that we were gonna put in the show today or no?
No, no, I just want to kind of talk through, even for historical purposes, so we can go back next year and kind of revisit our thoughts and ideas and things that maybe we would do differently, or maybe things that we want to make sure we do again. Um, I think that second day 2 was Thursday night. I did make it to one of the parties. I made it to the Bodagos party, which was
You
really
did.
cool. I got to meet all the people I wanted to meet. I got to meet Choose Rich, Nick, and Pio and Clemente from the Nifty Morning Show. I got to meet Easy and Bunny and just all the guys on there. So it was really cool to kind of fanboy out and be there. But I get there and there's a lot of people. A lot of them aren't there with anyone else. They just wanted to be there for the same reason as me. And I saw some other people. I saw Brian Brinkman there, who we've been trying to get on the show for a while. And everyone's just having a good time. And then these guys, the ones putting on the party, I'm like, man, this is like their job. This is their life, is to throw a party like this and run a business based on getting these people here. And so again, like I said in my talk, we're not going to be the next Nifty, but it'd be great to have a community that dedicated that they're willing to like travel and show up and want to meet you. So definitely that's a squad goal for us. I think to be able to host a live event and have it well attended.
Yeah, I mean, we even talked about with V1s. Remember, talking about having like a group meet to go plant trees with one tree planted
Yeah,
and all that kind of stuff. I mean, there's some cool stuff there that we can do. I mean, we could still do things like that with the community. It's just we really have to get the community to be involved in that.
yeah.
And
Were
obviously, that
you
starts with us. Huh?
sorry? Just thinking about the people that did come up. They did mint. I think what we had talked about, like it would have been great to find a way to record the names or contact for those people that did mint. Some of them we know who they are from Twitter, but probably the majority of them we don't have a way to contact them
Hmm.
to kind of keep them posted or engage with them. So I think I would do something differently that way next time. That if we got someone to mint, we would do something right. We talked about maybe taking a picture with them with their phone with their aunt and tag them on Twitter or something like that, just so we have a way to get back to them. How did you feel we did in terms of getting people to mint? Was it above your expectation, below your expectation?
Um, we weren't really trying to get people to mint, man. Like we were just telling our story, and people just resonated with it, and they meant it.
Yeah, I
I don't
don't think
think it
we
was
we
like,
pushed it too hard.
yeah.
And I think maybe what do you think? 30 people minted, 30 individuals throughout that.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah, even Crespo came up and said that he was impressed with it being that many, and that was day two or day one. I think I said
I
was it day
think it
one,
was
day
day
three.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was impressed with the number of people that took action on it. So again, I think by day three we had kind of refined our process enough that had we had another day, I think we would have been even more effective, and could have done, even more churn of people to mint an ant to get interviewed, that sort of thing.
Yeah, as the time passed by, we just kept learning how to um, craft and make it things better for us
Yeah,
as the days went by or the hours went by, right?
yeah.
But even on the last day, like you mentioned, you were so busy that we just really couldn't keep up. I mean, we were interviewing people all the way to the to
The
to
last
the
people in there.
the last minute that they were taking the tarps down and all that stuff down. So it was great.
Yeah, the the we had gone in there with a plan. We got the soundboard, we got the wireless mics, we got the camera, and it almost all worked out. The sound definitely worked out as we
Hmm.
thought it would. I was fighting with that camera day one. I was so frustrated because it's a smart camera. It was doing what it's supposed to do, but we needed it to do something it's not supposed to do, which is just sit still.
We needed it. Yeah, we needed it not to be smart.
We needed a dumb camera to just stay in a specific zoom and
Yeah.
not travel and follow people's faces and zoom in on the person talking. Like, if it was the camera you're using right now, it's probably the perfect camera. It's probably the best camera. But for our purpose, like it was just not working. I was so distracted trying to adjust the camera every 30 seconds or changing the settings that I think it really retracted from the experience. And by day two and day three, I think it was much better because of that. And also, we fine tuned some of the streaming process, right? We figured out the Instagram, we figured out how to get the screen, to be more full sized, and we put an overlay on there to give it a little bit of character. So again, day two, we kind of figured it out. And day three, we hit our stride. And again, I think if we were to get back to another live event, we'd be, 3 days ahead just by being ready and what we've learned from this.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, my only critique is that if you want to hear it, is that I was watching some of the videos right from the interviews, and I see that you are talking to the people that were there, but at the same time, you were paying so much attention to the computer trying to fix things
I know.
that it kind of took away
A
from
hundred
the
percent,
actual
100%.
interview.
And
Yeah, so we got to fix that.
yeah, yeah. At some point, we had like 18 people watching one of the interviews, which is probably on the higher end for us for live viewership. So that was really
Mhm.
cool. And then there weren't many comments, but I was still watching to see how many people are watching. What's the comments? So I think we'd have to maybe bring someone else with us for another time to kind of handle some of the production side of that. So you can do your thing, I can do my thing, and we kind of keep it rolling along. Um, but yeah, even the camera setup. we changed a couple of times, and again by the end, it was probably as good as it was going to get. So definitely some lessons learned on what we would do differently next time. Um,
Yeah.
I shared with you some of my, criticism of the event, which really comes down to the main things were the speaker events were back to back to back. It was
Hmm.
zero time in between events. So it makes it hard to watch one and then go see another because a 12 o'clock talk for 10 minutes goes into a 12:10 talk that's for 10 minutes. And maybe it's in another room, but it's like if I stay to the end of this talk, I'm going to be late to get to the next talk. And I think that puts a lot of pressure on an attendee to sacrifice what they want to see.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. I agree with that. Not only that, but a lot of the talks were a little late. So by the time that we got there, it was already done, or they were way behind, one of the two.
Yes, yeah, that's a good point. And then even that last day, um, we wanted to see Crespo speak, but his event overlapped with the stand-up comedy act of TJ Miller, which I know you attended. I know
Yeah.
it was good, but even when he came out, his stage was back to back with the
So good.
stage that Crespo was on, and it was so loud and distracting that it just kind of took over the stage that Crespo was on. So a little awkward maybe. I mean, Crespo did a good job just kind of pushing through and joking about it, but
Yeah.
that sort of dynamic seemed to not have been thought through.
Yeah, I mean the TJ Miller thing was actually very, very funny. I think that it should have been a little bit more, like you said, just thought about, because I think what should have happened was that TJ Miller should have done it at a time when there was no one
Right.
speaking. Maybe that would have been a little better. But dude, it was so funny, and I think that's at the same time that you went to the Bodago's
Right. Yeah.
party.
Yeah.
Um, but it was very funny and very interesting to see that someone like him it's into NFTs and blockchain and the technology and stuff like that. I didn't even know he had put out an NFT. Did you?
I did not know that. I mean, I
He
know
put
that
out
he
two.
was, from Silicon Valley, so there's that tech geek side of it, but I don't know
Yeah,
anything about him as a person.
but that's where he learned. That's where he learned about NFTs and
Mm.
blockchain. I think they had the Winklevoss twins. He said part of the story in the show as a guest, and then I guess through them, like he learned about blockchain technology and all that stuff, and got very interested. And then the more he learned about it, the more he wanted to be part of it. And then that's kind of how he ended up where he is now.
Interesting. And I shared with you I have this idea for next year. This is my goal for the next couple of months is to somehow pitch myself to Jody Rich, who's the CEO of NFTNYC,
Yeah,
to do an interview with him on stage in a Hot Ones style where we eat increasingly hotter hot wings to make the conversation more difficult, but I think it'd be funny and well received by the crowd. So I'm thinking about making like a 60-second video kind of highlighting, hey, we did these smaller, we did these interviews, but I didn't get to interview you, and this is what I think would be fun. So I really want to see if we can lock that in now. I think that'd be an interesting thing to see if we can get his attention now that it's over and winding down.
yeah.
Would
I mean, we
Yeah,
definitely got some people's attention.
yeah, we did. I mean, even somebody came up to us and said that they saw our merchandise at the Board Ape Yacht Club party, which just means somebody is dropping stuff around on our behalf. I don't know who it was, but it's cool to think that we're spreading a little bit like
Yeah.
ants at a barbecue.
Hey, you know what's funny? You see my token frame in the back?
I do see your token frame in the back.
I can't log into it.
Why not?
I, I don't know, so I gotta
You
fix
lost
that.
the keys, huh?
Well,
Oh
no.
boy.
Are you able to see the pudgy penguin that's there or no?
I can see the pudgy. It's there's a lot of contrast. So the
Yeah,
pudgy looks like I can tell by a small outline of the pudgy that I know what it is.
that's because you're seeing probably his hat, right?
I see a hat and then maybe a hand or an arm of some sorts.
Yeah, I gotta try to sign in so I can fix the contrast, but I can't log
Yeah.
in.
Well, it happens. Um, let me see. What else did I want to? Oh, I wanted to also mention that somehow, some way. Let me see if I can go to this screen here. Can I add you to the scene somewhere? Okay, there you go. So at some point, it was day 3. Somebody says, "Hey, you guys know you're on the front page of the website," and so when you go to app.nft.nyc, the ant that we submitted as a free giveaway is the first thing on display there, and there's 176 or something now people who minted this uniquely.
That's
So
pretty
that was
cool.
really cool that there's just some brand recognition here. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I was just impressed. I don't know what did it. It doesn't have to do with the ranking, like the number quantity minted to be ranked in first place here, to be put in this spot. But I'm happy to know that people logging in are seeing us.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, I think I minted some of those too that were there.
Yeah, yeah. And so on OpenSea right now, it does say that there's 50 minted, and some of these are really good ones. Some of these are really good ones. And I think people really resonated with the art. I don't think anyone wasn't impressed who saw the art, especially if they pulled it up on their phone. So I wanted to do my part in mint, but I don't
Still
know.
have not minted.
No, I was gonna mint a couple right now, but let's see if we can do it. I feel like when I clicked on this before, it logged me in. Let's see, connect wallet. Let's go here. Can I mint two? You minted one token. I didn't. Can I mint two? I don't know what the gas is going to be. Oh, yeah, look at that.
What is the gas right now? Oh, I see.
What is the gas? $10?
That's not that bad.
No, but to get two, it's $47. And I think I have like 46. Oh, no, I have $36. Is
Oh
that
my
it?
god.
I bought a bunch earlier on crypto.com. Not a bunch. I bought like $55 worth on crypto.com earlier. Sent it to this address, to this wallet, so I can mint here.
Hmm.
And, the fee was too much. Maybe I'll
How
just
much
get
was the
one
fee
right now.
then? You know what's funny that during the entire time that we were there, every time that we spoke to someone, and every single time they were like, "What are you using?" And we were like, "ETH," and everybody's like, "Ah."
Yeah, I was curious if even looking back now, would you have done something differently? Let's say
Yeah.
we had enough time to pick Solana or ETH or Ethereum. Which one would you have minted on looking back now?
I think I still would have went with ETH. You know what? The last 2 days have been like there's been a lot of like commotion between like Solana
Yeah, it's
and
been down. There's been issues with
yeah,
it, right?
there's been a
But
lot of issues.
yes, is up. So I agree with you. I think I still would have done Ethereum. Okay, let's see. All right. What do we got here? We got a cyborg. This was an interesting one for me, this art. I was a little undecided at first for this style. So
The cyborg, yeah.
the cyborg, we got the cyborg head, we got a patch, we got the nice blue and orange, two antennas, green background. Love this kimono, love this coloring and shading here. This is very nice. So I will snag another one. I'll put in a little bit more so I can snag another one, but that puts us up to 50 something, 51 pieces, I think. So all good, all good. I'll keep buying a few more. Yeah, 51 pieces there. And anyone watching or listening is invited to head over to rebelance.io and you can mint your own Battle for the Colony. Now, something that kind of happened throughout our time there, we were talking to various people, kind of pitching the premise of what happens after we mint out. Um, it was, well, is that a lottery the way we're doing it? I don't know. And then we talked to the legal people and they're like, well, here are some potential issues, so you might want to rethink it. And then at the end, we had this guy from Drip come, and Drip is this, I don't even know how you would describe Drip, but they allow you to create like quests and rewards within Discord to reward people for engaging or taking certain actions like minting or holding, whatever it is. And they use a platform that does reward points that can then be redeemed for other things. So it kind of puts a step in between. And you and I looked at each other like, yeah, this makes sense. This is how we need to do it, right? We need to use this Drip platform. And even that's what the Saints of LA are using to do their reward process. So I
I
think
don't I don't know if they're using that
he
particular.
said they were. I asked him.
Are they?
Yeah, because I asked him, what's a project you're working with right now? And he said, Genuine Undead. I said, oh, Genuine Undead. I said, I think I've seen their thing and I've seen their project name come up from the Saints of LA. I said, oh, it sounds like the thing the Saints of LA are doing too. And he said, yeah, we work with them. So they're using the same thing. If you look in their Discord, they call it quests, that sort of thing. So I think, regardless of how many people minted our ants, I think we made connections and learned things that'll help us progress this project to move it in the direction that's really helpful for us.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, we're going to do what we said we're going to do. It's just a matter of time and,
Exactly.
really finding out what the legality of it is. Whether it is that we create the token or whether it is that we go with a different company that does it for us, it really all depends. But we're going to end up doing what we said we're going to do regardless. So,
Yeah, we're going to make it worthwhile for the holders. We're going to give back as much as we can. We're going to reward people. We're going to try and create excitement and engagement, and we're going to do it what I think is still a unique way, because as we pitched the plan to people, they seem to be like, "Oh, that's cool," right? And when saying, "Hey, it's not a game. It's not something you have to do. We're just gamifying the process. You just get to be a
Correct,
holder and
correct.
watch and tune in each week and kind of see, did I win or not?" And one way or another, you'll be rewarded through some sort of airdrop or whatever it is. And people, I think, like that. And I think maybe that's because there's been burnout already on NFT games where you have to do so much. You have to play these games that have such minor rewards that it's like, hey, if we can bypass that, we don't need to hire a crazy dev team and deal with all these complicated processes and finding a blockchain to do these microtransactions.
Yeah,
I think that's really cool. I think that's something unique that we can offer to a community of holders.
yeah. Hey, was there anything that you were disappointed on?
Well, I briefly shared some of the interactions we had with the setup staff. I think that was kind of disappointing. The challenge we had with the table and the chairs, that was a little disappointing. Um,
Yeah, you know what I was a bit bummed out about, that we had our initial conversation with NFT NYC, and everything that we talked about there was a bit different in what actually really happened,
that's true.
right? And not only that, not to take anything away from NFT NYC, because I really love what they do, but like, I feel like at one point we gave them some ideas that were supposed to be our ideas, and they kind of ran with. So you know
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden it was their idea. But that's fine. I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. I mean, we did what we needed to do. We talked to whoever we needed to talk to. Um, but as far as like things that were happening at the actual NFT NYC conference that I was a little bit disappointed about was Luca was supposed to have a talk from
right.
Petty Penguins there at some point, but he wasn't there, so that was kind of a bit disappointing. I was really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I mean, we were looking at the calendar. We're saying it's supposed to be at this time in this room, and we're
Yeah.
standing there, and they're like, "Yep, we're done for the day on this stage." Like, that's so weird. What happened? But I think you had said you'd seen him earlier in the day, so maybe he had to bounce. I don't know. I was trying not to dig into it too much online because we just had so much else going on, so I didn't want to get
Yeah, I
bogged
mean, I'm
down with
sure he
that.
was busy. It's not that I saw him. It was somebody showed me a picture,
Right.
or somebody
Right.
took
Right.
a picture with him at an FTNYC, and
Yeah.
you can tell that he was there, but we don't know exactly what happened. Actually, I don't even know if he even had the speech or not. I mean, did you hear
Right.
anything about?
No, I didn't. I didn't. But that whole second floor, you had said last year it was filled with vendors or booths or something. I mean,
It
it was
was,
so
yeah,
empty that I'm thinking, could all the exhibitors downstairs be up here? And maybe there was enough space, but then it would just be really loud outside of all the talks. So I could see why they wouldn't want to do that. But it did seem oddly empty to be up there and really have nothing else outside of those rooms where you just have this long hallway of windows, right? Like, why not put more things up there? I don't know what it would have been, but it did seem weird. I think
yeah,
some of the food and drink selections were a little weird, and you and I had a contact on the inside of the food and beverage who did say there were some budget cuts made towards the last minute. So maybe that's what it was reflected, but you couldn't even get like a regular coffee. They had espresso only, right? Something like that. It was just kind of weird that it's like, oh, I can't just get this, but all right. I mean, it was a free espresso, so can't complain too much. But then even the food, day one there was tuna sandwiches for people like me who don't eat meat, so that was great. But then day two and three, no more veggie options. It's just like turkey and chicken. So I was like, okay, not great. And then it just wasn't especially welcoming in that sense.
yeah. I don't know what happened. I think that I don't know. My opinion of it, I think, is that they didn't have enough sponsors.
Yeah,
That could be a
I
possibility.
agree. There didn't seem like there was enough vendors even downstairs that there should have been.
Yeah,
There was just a lot of open space. Um, what else was a little rocky from an experience standpoint was you and I trying to get in, right? We had to show these QR codes as tickets, and neither of us could find it. And it's like, why is it that hard that we can't even find the QR code for us to get in? So that was a little frustrating that we were just kind of stressing going in. It's like, all right, I don't want to have to worry about, can I get into this thing that we have paid to be partners? We have a booth there. We're just trying to get our thing going. And, we go over to the counter and they're like, oh, you got to go see the guy down there. And, luckily he was nice and got us going. But there shouldn't be that much friction for us as partners to get the chairs that we had been told we were going to get, to get the setup that we were told we were going to get. So I think there's some opportunity there.
Yeah, no, I
And
agree.
yeah, either way, I'm excited if we can do it again next year. My wife asked me, would I do a talk again? I'm like, I would. I don't know what it would be on, but I would. So I'd have to think about what that looks like. But I would definitely apply again next year to be a talker. And you said you would do a talk next year too, right? You would try and do it.
Yeah, we'll definitely be a speaker next year.
Yeah. So I guess we have a few months to figure out what that might look like. And I think what we did this year is a good platform for them to maybe even just recognize who we are, right? Like LJ knows who we are. So one of the contacts from NFTNYC. So I think if he sees our name again, it'll be an advantage to us.
Yeah, I agree. I also think that if we do it next year, for sure, we need a bigger booth.
Yeah. Yeah. Having a TV screen would have been great, right?
Yeah, that would have been perfect, actually.
Yeah. Woo. All right. Coming up on an hour. Any closing thoughts, Miguel, as you awaken from your slumber?
Why are you hating on me sleeping? I was tired.
Dude. Because, we had a plan.
I wake up like at 4 in the. Well, you do the same too. I
Yeah,
get
I
it.
do the same too.
You do.
It's
But I
all
was
good.
tired. I was really tired today.
It's all good. What we talked about at the
Listen, I'm here.
Navigating Imposter Syndrome is that we cover for each other, and that's what we do.
That's it. I'm here. We're talking. We're having a conversation.
We
You know,
are.
it's all good.
Um, so any closing thoughts, anything that any reflections?
Um, no, not really.
Yeah, I think again it was so cool to meet people from various backgrounds who had various stories. We interviewed some weird people and we interviewed some amazing people that I'm really looking forward to staying in touch with. And if nothing else, I'm just motivated by people's connection with us, our story, and the artwork. And I think that's the most important thing, is to know that when we get a chance to get face to face with people, there seems to be a connection.
Yeah, there's definitely a connection there. I mean, we definitely have a story to tell. And I think that the more we get it out there, the better it is for us, right? We're just genuine. We're two people trying to do the right thing, and I think that we'll end up going a long way. You know what I didn't like about me purchasing a DGOTS?
You didn't get a lot of community love, did you?
No,
No, I saw that.
did you see that?
Yeah, you posted and even tagging him, and he didn't really say anything back.
No, you're right there. What are you doing? Paying attention?
It's my time. It's my time to bounce out.
No, so I was thinking about this yesterday because we were a big part of the Saints of LA community,
Yeah.
and like when you buy a Saints of LA, you can feel the love automatically
Yes.
from the community there. Like it's instant, like that,
Yeah.
right? The community, it's just all over you because you just purchased one. I didn't feel that with the gots at all,
No.
zero. I felt that with Pudgy too. Like when I purchased the Pudgy and I posted, like the community was there, like that. Doodles there, like that. The gods,
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah. Something for us to be mindful of as we grow and we have people that can welcome other people. You have an idea about how people are being made aware that a new person minted. Maybe it's through some analytics that recognizes the Twitter handle of somebody who mints from that contract, or buys from that contract. I don't know, but I think people are posting the way that you posted about the DGOTs. Say, hey, I've
Yeah,
got one now, and then that should trigger, a
something.
swarm of people to
I
welcome you.
think
So
I think that yeah, I think that the recognition definitely needs to be there. I mean,
yeah,
what again? Like some people that get it right, like Saints of LA, those guys get it right 100%, like
yeah,
100%.
yeah. And as you and I have said over text the past few days, like we got to figure out how to keep this momentum going. We got to figure out how to continue to grow. And I think we can get back on track now with the podcast and be more consistent than we have been the last 2 months. And we've gained, maybe 50 viewers or 50 subscribers on YouTube. It's great that we have 8 people watching now. And I think we just keep doing our thing and keep chugging along, learn, take lessons that we've learned along the way and just kind of keep going, utilize those connections, leverage those connections for people we met, whether it's Mintangible, whether it's partnerships with other communities that we met there. Like let's explore everything, right? No reason to say no to anything at this point.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, the energy drink
Yes.
was really good.
Yes. Oh, I didn't get to mention them yet, but let me bring up their thing on the website just so we can say it. So, we were next to, we were down the street, down the block from NFT Energy, and they were an energy drink. They had a decent crowd too. I think people wanted like giveaways,
Hmm.
um, but they have a great product, great story, great founders. They originally had this idea to create an energy drink and put NFT projects, as like the smaller part of the packaging, and then they learned through feedback that people wanted to just take over the whole wrapping as an NFT project. Say, hey, make me a whole can about the pigeons or the pudgies, whatever it is. And they've really leaned into that, and now they're working with these big projects to be the drink provider, whether it's in a gas station or for a private event. So just so smart, such a good niche. I think that everybody can find a reason to partner with them.
Yeah, but the actual drink itself tasted very good.
Good. I'm glad it did. I'm glad they have a good product and they have more flavors coming out. And again, we interviewed Johnny, one of the founders, so check that out on our YouTube channel and give them a try. Check out their website. Great
Yeah, I was
website. Great,
impressed.
great looking
I was
product.
definitely
So
impressed.
yeah, I'm really excited to continue to hopefully stay in touch with them too.
Yeah, maybe one day it'll be a Rebel Ant in one of the cans.
Yeah, well, there was a lot of people there that we either did a short interview with and said, "Hey, we got to get you on the show for a full interview." I think there's a few people we've even spoken to after that we didn't interview that we can interview now. We had that artist Goof, who was supposed to come on the show, but then partied too hard. So maybe we can get him for a full episode. So again, there's a lot of people, a lot of connections that we can continue to leverage just to keep the conversation going, just to stay relevant. So I think that's our task now is
Yeah.
to continue to leverage that.
Is that what happened with Goof? He was just partying?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
interesting.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Having said that, thank you again for a very successful NFT NYC. I'm excited for us to do whatever's next when it comes to putting ourselves out there and continuing to build on the momentum that we have coming out of that.
Right. Don't be a hater,
All right. Well, let's get together again next week, and we'll see where we're at. We'll check in.
Don't worry. Next week I won't be sleeping.
Don't worry, I got your back, bud. I'll go live without you.
I know you will.
All right. Have a good week. We'll see you all later. Find us at Rebel Ants on Twitter and X, and visit us at rebelants.io. Check out the new site. Check out the new project. Go mint one for 0.005 ETH, a little discount for the first couple. So get it while you can, while it's hot.
Get it while it's hot.
Get it while it's hot. All right. Have a good
All right.
night.
Have a
Bye
good night.
bye.
Peace.